You look at this market, you look at this year, an unlikely rally, I guess, by some measures here. Do you see this strength at all continuing into next year?
Absolutely. The remedies that we put in place to counter the COVID recessions, they were so substantial. We had massive stimulus, right? We saw 5.8 trillion in fiscal stimulus. The Fed expanded its balance sheet by more than 4.5 trillion. We'll be left with a legacy of those policy responses well into the future. We know monetary policy works on a lagged basis, and fiscal policy has still resulted in high savings rate. And so I see smooth sailing here for the next couple of years.
Fiscal policy has been a big ballast for this market and for the economy. So has monetary policy. And of course, we have a Fed that is basically made it clear that it at least wants to start to remove some of that accommodation from the market here. Do you anticipate that the Fed is going to stick by its plans for what could be 2 to 3 rate hikes next year?
Well, they've committed to 3 in 2022, 2 more than in 2023, and then 2 more yet again. Look, they will be data dependent. They will adjust. But for right now, the big news on what the Fed did in their last FOMC meeting, they turned hawkish, which is normally a bad signal, right? Markets get really jittery when the Fed turns hawkish. But in this instance, I believe they heaved a sigh of relief because they have been so wrong on inflation. They kept calling it transitory. And in September, they were calling for 0 rate hikes. And so the fear was that there would be a big policy misstep from the Fed in the direction of actually being too slow. So the fact that they have sped up their tapering and this cycle of rate hikes is actually viewed as a positive. Now there is alignment between market expectations and what the Fed plans to do. And I think 3, perhaps 2, is perfectly in line. And let's not forget, right, this is a very different economy than what we saw in 2020. Any policy measure from last year cannot be appropriate today. We have to normalize.